Lauryn Hill's style in the 90s and early 2000s blended Afrocentric pride, hip-hop edge, and bohemian sophistication, evolving alongside her music career and cultural influence. So Lauryn Hill has had a few eras as well, so I'm just gonna briefly go through her different eras in terms of like her style. So in the 1990s, this was the Fugees era and the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. So a lot of Afrocentric influences. She wore a lot of head wraps, African print fabrics, kente cloth accents, gold hoop earrings were staples of hers. She embraced natural hairstyles early on, often wearing locks or twists, which became a part of her signature image. Hip-hop streetwear was also really big as well. She wore a lot of oversized jackets, baggy jeans, boots, bomber jackets that reflected her place in the 90s rap and R&B scene. She balanced this with feminine touches like crop tops, body-hugging skirts, or bold lipstick. She also would layer a lot, so she wore a lot of vintage-inspired blazers, overalls, and colorful sweaters, often layered over turtlenecks, giving her outfits depth and texture. She wore a lot of statement jewelry as well, so as I mentioned, the bamboo earrings, hoop earrings specifically, chokers, chunky rings, and layered gold chains were common. So when it comes to the early 2000s, this was post-Miseducation, so she became a bit more minimal. That sounds crazy calling Lauryn Hill minimal, because she's really a maximalist. But anyway, in the early 2000s, it was very minimal, like bohemian. She leaned into long, flowing skirts, muted earth tones, moving away from the bright Afrocentric prints of the mid-90s. Her style reflected a more stripped-down, introspective image, looser clothing, minimal makeup, and head wraps or scarves tied simply. She mixed formal and casual wear. She could appear in a sharp tailored coat with heels one day and an oversized knit sweater with boots the next. Clothing often had a purpose, whether honoring her roots, making political statements, or rejecting industry expectations of glamour. Okay, so I'm going to rewind a little bit because I do want to talk about my favorite era, which is going to be the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That era, that's my jam. This era was roughly between 1997 and 1999. Of course, definitely ahead of my time. I was born in 97, but just looking back at the photos of this era, Lauryn's style definitely hit like a sweet spot. Of course, she still had the Afrocentric vibe. She was very sophisticated and just effortlessly cool. Ultimately reflected her artistry and the deeply personal theme of the album. So in this era, a lot of her clothing was very tailored, but of course she had like a slight twist. She often wore fitted blazers, button-down shirts, and pencil skirts, but styled them with bold patterns, vibrant colors, and chunky accessories, just to keep that youthful and expressive vibe. She also wore a lot of denim, so denim dark wash jeans, denim skirts, overalls, turtlenecks, crop sweaters, all the vibes. She also did have some feminine silhouettes as well, in contrast to her looser era streetwear when she was in the Fugees. The period leaned more towards body conscious fits, slip dresses, fitted tops, and long skirts without ever feeling overstyled. Okay, so now let's talk makeup and hair. So Lauryn Hill's makeup and hair became just as iconic as her clothes. They were bold, expressive, and deeply tied to her identity. So when it came to her hair, locks was her signature style. In the mid to late 90s, Lauryn wore beautiful, thick dreadlocks that became one of her trademarks. Sometimes they were free-flowing, other times pulled into ponytails, buns, or half-up styles. She also did wear a lot of head wraps. She was a head wrap queen. She often styled her locks under vibrant African print head wraps, sometimes tied high into a crown like turban or draped more casually. These wraps are both a cultural statement and a signature style. So experimentation early on when it came to her hair. So before locking her hair, she occasionally wore short natural curls, braids or twists, but by the Miseducation era, locks were her go-to. For me personally, I love when she would wear her locks like up and like those high ponytails or down. Her vibe was just so like ethereal. Like she was just such a natural beauty. In the 90s, like the beauty was so effortless. Like even looking at old photos of her, the face was just everything. So now let's talk makeup. She wore a lot of bold lips, especially during like her Fugees era. She favored deep matte browns, rich burgundies, and classic reds, shades that pop beautifully against her complexion. She also had really defined brows, which I love. I love when women have like defined brows, like thin eyebrows, eyebrows, I just love that look. It's so 90s and Y2K. So even the 90s skinny brow era, Lauryn Hill kept hers fuller and well shaped, giving her face a strong, expressive frame. When it came to like her eyeshadows, she stuck to warm tones. She often wore gold, bronze, and copper eyeshadows, sometimes with a subtle shimmer paired with precise eyeliner for definition. She also just had a really natural glow. While her lips and eyes were bold, her base makeup tended to be fresh and natural looking, letting her skin shine through. She avoided heavy contouring, keeping the focus on her features rather than makeup trends. I love the way Lauryn's makeup looked in the 90s and 2000s. It was just super natural but still polished. Like the eyebrows were just, they looked great. Her skin tone was everything. The makeup just fits her skin tone perfectly. That 90s era dark lip with the dark lip liner, it was just everything. And I think the era, or I would say one of my favorite videos that kind of just expressed or just showed her beauty the most was definitely the X Factor video. I love that video. I think she looks so stunning in that video. The makeup, 10 out of 10. The clothing, everything was just white and clean. The dreads, it was just a moment. Lauryn Hill's impact on music culture in the 90s and 2000s was massive. Not just because of her talent, but because she redefined what was possible for women in hip-hop, R&B, and beyond. Before Lauryn, women in rap were often boxed into narrow roles, hypersexualized images, battle rap archetypes, or background singers for male acts. Lauryn came in as an MC who could out-rap many men while also being an incredible singer. Her work with the Fugees proved a female rapper could be the lyrical and creative heart of a group without being sidelined. She helped normalize the idea of women being both lyrical powerhouses and soulful vocalists, in the same breath, paving the way for later artists. When the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill released, it was a cultural shift. The album fused hip-hop, soul, reggae, and R&B with deeply personal and socially conscious storytelling, a blend that was rare at the time. It addressed topics like love, heartbreak, motherhood, spirituality, systemic racism, and self-worth, all from a young Black woman's perspective. She became the first woman to win 5 Grammys in one night, and the first hip-hop artist to win Album of the Year, proving rap could dominate mainstream music without watering down its essence. Lauryn Hill also had a lot of Afrocentric and conscious influence, so Lauryn made Black pride, natural beauty, and Afrocentric style central to her artistry. From her lyrics to her visuals, at the time when the music industry was heavily pushing Eurocentric beauty standards, songs like Doo-Wop didn't just entertain, they preached self-respect, cultural unity, and awareness of societal traps. Lauryn was literally the blueprint for authenticity. She proved you can be authentic, political, and commercially successful without diluting your message. Even after stepping back from the industry, her MTV Unplugged was raw, imperfect, and vulnerable. It influenced later artists who embraced stripped-down, intimate performances. So overall, in short, Lauryn Hill didn't just influence music, she reshaped the conversation about artistry, authenticity, and representation. Her legacy is why we now expect artists to be multidimensional, able to cross genres, speak truth to power, and control their own narrative.